All right, Gun Nation, we are back and we are outside. So we are testing the Mantis X, the Mantis Blackbeard X to be exact, with the green laser. And I am running a Vortex, as you saw in the first part, a Vortex 1 to 6 with a red dot. So I've got the red dot, especially out tonight, the red dot of the Razor, and I've got the green of the Mantis. So since I am running a 193 mount, I've got the height over bore issue. That is one thing great about this Blackbeard X. It actually helps you practice your height over bore. It's one thing I'm really liking about it. Also, you can check and practice your safety. So you fire, go to safe. Fire, go to safe. And what I'm finding, and y'all all know that I tried the airsoft and all that other stuff. And the thing about airsoft, and I've been running around with this Blackbeard X in my home, practicing as well. Well, if I was to do that with airsoft, I'd have BBs all over my house. That would not be good. My wife would freak out. And I'd have dents everywhere. With this, you don't have that issue. So that is a really cool thing about it. But let's go ahead and get into it. So I've got two targets. I don't know how well you can see them, but I've got one right there under that umbrella and one right over there. So we'll put some lights on it here in just a minute. But first I want to show you on the far back fence out that way what the Mantis Blackbeard X in green looks like on the fence. So we'll go ahead and pop off the safety. Hopefully you can see that. So that is what it looks like. Now from that distance, it's literally right under my green, or excuse me, right under my red 1 to 6. I mean, just barely under it. So that's great. Well, as I come closer, then of course it drops pretty low because of the height over bore. So you can just flip, your safety on, safety off, if y'all can hear that. It allows you to just practice that. So you can go, flip off, bam, bam, flip on, flip off, bam, bam, flip on, flip off, flip on, practice like that. Now, I'll go ahead and show you the targets. We've got one right here, and we've got one right over there. So these are just the IPSC targets, and I am actually testing a new Streamlight. We'll go over that later, but I've got it on this rifle, and I'm not using the pressure pad. I'm using the thumb switch, so you can see it. This is 1,000 lumen, 50,000 candela. So, but let's go ahead and just pop some targets here. Hopefully you can see that. Now let's turn the light on. I can see that perfectly, the green dot through my scope. I don't know how well it's coming across on the camera. And we'll transition. That was my fault, actually. I'm on a slope, so it's kind of weird. But the height over bore practice is actually really awesome. So I know it's hard to explain, but it is really awesome. So yeah, you can just pick out targets in your backyard. You don't have to have paper targets like I have. Heck, I could shoot my barbecue grill right there. Could shoot that pot back over there. Or I can go back to the fence. Hopefully you're picking this up on the camera. I can see it in the viewfinder. But I've got my rifle slung as I would. I've got it zipped up. It's a Vickers padded sling on this one. But, just walking around the backyard. And then all of a sudden you can, flip your safety on. Flip it off. Flip it on. Transition over to that one. Flip your safety on. it just gives you a lot of manipulation that I'm finding. And again, airsoft is a great tool. I'm not trying to say it's not. Now, of course, this does not have recoil. Just be aware of that. But the battery, when you charge it, you plug it in. It comes with the wire and all of that stuff. And your little cube from like your iPhone, you just plug it into that. You're going to charge the battery. It takes literally, it almost took, I think, 14 to 16 hours to charge this Mantis X battery. It does have little indicators on the top, so as it's charging, it'll flash and all that stuff. When it's fully charged, they'll all be lit up. And it took like 16 hours. I'm not even joking. It says that you can have like thousands and thousands of trigger presses, so that's actually a really good thing. But on one charge. So gives you a lot of dry fire options. And like I said, you can walk around your house. You can do it. You can do it with your light, you know, without the light. Kick your light on. No light. But I'm really enjoying it. I think it's a lot of fun, a lot of practice, and you're using a real rifle. This is my real rifle. It is not an airsoft. And what I found with the airsoft game, I even had an all aluminum rifle. And it was way too freaking light. It didn't have my real optic on it. I did even put a aim point on one of my airsofts, and then I put a flashlight on it. But you're dealing with a plastic airsoft gun. So it just didn't balance out correctly. And it felt like a toy. This one, you're using your actual real rifle, your real trigger, and this is not a stock trigger. It's not a mil-spec. It's a CMM, what is it? The CMG or whatever that are made in Texas. So, and I really like those triggers, and this is a flat face. But, you know, you can set up targets, and of course it's windy back here, so that one just blew down. But you can set up targets, you can use light switches, you can use whatever, inside your home or outside your home. And I'm in the privacy of my own backyard. All I'm doing, you know, periodically is throwing big beams, you know, across everything. So I'm sure my neighbors aren't liking that, but, you know, it is what it is. Do I think it's a worthwhile investment? Actually, I do. Again, you can do your trigger presentation or your rifle presentation. You can work your safeties. You can check your height over bore. And that is a huge one with me. Because on some rifles I have 193, some I have, you know, 1/3 co-witness, things like that. So periodically, honestly, if you're going from rifle to rifle, I'm not saying I forget, but I'll say, oh, okay, let's put it right between his eyes, and then I'll shoot him in the mouth because I forgot about the height over bore. So with this, it helps you practice that and just kind of keeps you, and you're not blowing through any ammo. You know, ammo's not cheap right now, and it is getting harder to find for some people. I've got a lot of ammo, but, you know, if I can spend a little more time practicing dry fire, this actually makes dry fire fun and not boring. And you're not having to rack it every time and do all of that other stuff because this actually resets your trigger for you. I have tried this in 3 different ARs on 3 different triggers. None of my triggers are stock. None of them are mil-spec. And every trigger, it worked. So I did the Rain, I did a POF trigger, and I've done this CMG. Excuse me if I'm getting I've got tons of these triggers, but excuse me if I'm getting it incorrectly or saying it incorrectly. I'm sure I am. But hopefully y'all know which one I'm talking about. It's the one made in Texas. But, you know, there's a chair way over there, over to the right, under the light. Hopefully that's picking up on the camera. You know, working the safety. There's a pot right there. See, height over bore, I was a little bit low on that one, so I adjusted real quickly. But I didn't have the flashlight on either, so it is kind of hard to see that dark pot in the dark. I think the camera, what you're seeing, is probably giving a little bit more light because I've got some lights going around the house. But yeah, do I think it's worth it? Yeah. I also have a link below if you would like to purchase one. It is an affiliate link, but I will attach it below in the comments. If you're interested in one, it helps out the channel, and I appreciate it very much. But I've really liked the Mantis X on the pistols, and I really like this one on the rifle. So far I'm really digging it. Not shilling or anything like that. If it was junk, you've heard me say some things about some other products, not Mantis products, excuse me, but other products. So I'm not bought and paid for, I assure you that. But like I said, if you would like one, there will be an affiliate link below. Feel free to purchase that. I appreciate it. Again, it does help out the channel. They did send this to me. I did not purchase it. I've been working with them for about 5 years now and testing out some of their products. And those are the two I highly recommend. The Laser Academy for pistols, it's actually really cool, but I don't know if it's, I don't know. You're racking your pistol or every time, or dropping your hammer if it's a hammer-fired gun. And not saying it's a bad product. It's just I find the other Mantis X more usable for me. But this, for the AR-10, or excuse me, for the AR-15, I highly recommend the Blackbeard X. And it does, you can hook it up to your phone. You can do all the same thing you can with your pistol app. You can do with this one. I find it really useful for the height over bore, and for kind of going around your house and doing some things like that, or even out in the backyard. So for what it's worth, here's kind of my review. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, the link's below. Feel free to use it. And remember, an unarmed nation's a very weak nation, so we all got to carry on.